I start my shift at 7:18 a.m. with a paper cup of coffee in my left hand and a tablet under my right arm, standing in the service corridor behind the lobby of Meridian Tower. The lobby on the other side of the wall is already polished, quiet and expensive. White stone floor, black reception desk, glass turnstiles. 2 guards in dark jackets checking visitor passes while people in clean coats and office shoes move through without looking at the cameras above them. Behind the lobby, it is different. The service corridor has scuffed paint at knee level, trash bins staged near the freight elevator, a ladder cart with 1 bent wheel, and a faint smell from the compactor room because the night crew missed a bag from the 46th floor catering drop. I am the maintenance supervisor for the day shift. That means every tenant thinks I personally control heat, lights, elevators, air pressure, water pressure, card readers, dock doors, and every small bad noise that comes out of the walls. Some mornings I almost do. My name is Daniel Mercer, 42 years old. I have worked in Meridian Tower for 11 years. I know which elevator doors stick when humidity rises. I know which stairwell camera fails when the repeater closet overheats. I know the roof hatch alarm lies during high wind. I know which executives call the building manager before calling emergency services, because they want a problem controlled before it becomes a record. That morning, the first problem comes from the 53rd floor. My tablet buzzes before I reach the engineering office. The work order says, private conference level, restroom overflow, urgent, do not use main elevators, coordinate with tenant security. The 53rd floor belongs to Harlan Voss and the other people from Voss Meridian Capital. The lease covers the top 4 office floors plus the private dining level above them. In our system, those floors are marked secure tenant. Access by approved card only. The building staff can enter for emergency maintenance, but the tenant security team always wants to stand there and stare at our hands. I swipe into the engineering office. Malik is already at the workstation with his elbows on the desk, watching the building automation screen. He is 29, sharp, patient, and too good for this place. He points at the screen without turning around. Executive freight call locked out again, he says. By us? By them. Their security override is holding freight car 3 between 52 and 53. I set my coffee down. They cannot hold a freight car during morning receiving. They did. I open the elevator status panel. Passenger cars 1 through 6 are running normal low-rise service. 7 through 10 handle mid-rise. 11 through 14 handle high-rise. Freight car 1 is at the dock. Freight car 2 is out for scheduled inspection. Freight car 3 is stopped at 52.5 because the secure level has a private interlock. It is not supposed to sit between floors. It is supposed to complete the call and park. Call Raina, I tell Malik. He picks up the desk phone and dials lobby security. I hear Raina Cho answer. She is head of building security, not tenant security, and she actually listens when maintenance talks. Malik explains the hold. He listens. His face changes a little. He covers the receiver. Raina says Voss Security ordered no traffic to 50 through 54. Medical privacy issue. Medical privacy does not stop freight service. Malik repeats that into the phone, then listens again. She says building manager approved it. Of course he did. Henry Lyle approves anything from the top floors if the voice on the phone sounds rich enough. I pull my keys from my belt and take the service hallway toward the dock. I need to see the freight controller from the machine room panel, not from the dashboard. The building was renovated in phases, which means the dashboard lies in polite colors while the older relay cabinets tell the truth through burnt dust and warning lights. On the way, my radio clicks. Daniel, this is Raina. You headed upstairs? Machine room first. Do not go up there alone. That stops me. Raina does not say dramatic things. What did you hear? I ask. Nothing clean. Voss Security called it a fainting incident. Then one of their guards asked if we had a private ambulance entrance. Not city ambulance, private. When? 8 minutes ago. I look at my watch. 7:32 a.m. Any call to 911? No, Henry told front desk not to make one. I stop beside the freight lobby. A delivery guy from the bakery is standing with 2 insulated boxes, annoyed because his badge will not call the freight car. He looks at me for help. I hold up one finger, then lower my radio. Raina, if somebody faints on 53, nobody locks a freight car between floors. I know. Can you pull camera? Secure floors are tenant cameras. We get elevator cab, lobby approach, stair doors, not conference rooms. Give me freight 3 cab. I'm looking now. There is a pause. The delivery guy shifts the boxes against his hip. Raina comes back quieter. The cab camera is covered. Covered how? White cloth or napkin over the lens. Somebody taped it up. That is when the morning changes. Not with screaming, not with an alarm. With a covered camera in a clean building where the people upstairs spend more on one lunch than I spend on rent. I tell the bakery guy to wait at the dock. He complains. I ignore it and open the machine room. The air inside is warm and dry. The elevator cabinets line the wall with status lights blinking in rows. Freight 3 shows door zone fault, secure hold, independent service. The car is not moving because someone inside the secure floor has taken control with a key. That is allowed for moving furniture, art, private equipment, and, apparently, whatever is happening on 53. I take the controller phone and call the car. It rings through the elevator speaker. No answer. I call again. A man answers on the 3rd ring. This car is in private use. This is building maintenance. You are holding the car outside normal operation. Release the hold or give me your supervisor. I said private use. You are between floors. I need to know if you have passengers inside. He breathes near the microphone. He is close to it. I hear movement behind him, a dragging sound, then another voice. A woman says, "Do not let it open here." I press the receiver harder to my ear. "Who is in the car?" the man says. "No one requiring your assistance." That is a stupid sentence. People use stupid sentences when a lawyer has trained them, or when fear has removed normal words from the mouth. Put the car on fire service bypass and send it to the dock, I say. No, then I shut it down from here. Another pause. The man lowers his voice. If you do that, you will be removed from this building by lunch. I look at the cabinet, then at the old log sheet taped to the wall. I think of the bakery guy waiting, the trash pickup, the morning deliveries, the whole tower filling from the bottom while the top floor uses a freight elevator for something nobody wants recorded. Buddy, I say. If that car drops into fault, I am the one who gets it out. You can threaten me after you stop abusing my equipment. I place the car out of group service, not full power off. The panel changes. Independent hold brakes. Freight 3 starts moving down, slow at first, then normal. The man curses over the phone and cuts out. I leave the machine room and stand at the freight doors with Malik, who has come down without me asking. Rina arrives from the lobby with one guard behind her. Her face is still and professional. She has one hand near her radio, not on it. Freight 3 reaches the dock level. The door does not open. The position indicator sits there, silent. Malik uses his service key. Door lock is engaged. From inside, Reyna asks. From inside, or obstruction? I knock on the door. Building maintenance, step back from the doors. No answer. I use the key again. The outer doors part 3 inches, then stop. Something heavy is against the inner gate. The smell comes out first. Not rot, not sewage, sweet copper expensive cologne and something sour from a scared stomach. Malik mutters, "No." I put my shoulder to one door and pull. He helps. Rina tells the lobby guard to stand back. The gap widens enough for us to see into the cab. A conference chair is wedged sideways against the inner gate. A white tablecloth is taped over the camera dome. The floor is wet in streaks. A man in a dark suit is sitting against the back wall with both knees up, one hand pressed inside his jacket. His cuffs are red. A second man stands beside the control panel with a security badge from Voss Meridian Capital clipped to his lapel. He is sweating through his shirt. His eyes fix on us without moving much. The seated man talks first. "Close the door." Reyna steps closer. "Sir, are you injured?" "No," he says, and his hand slips a little. There is blood under it, not a little. Enough that the front of his shirt is stuck to his skin. The security man near the panel says, "We have this controlled." His voice is normal, but he is not normal. His skin is too flushed, sweat runs from his hairline. His jaw works once. Then again, with no words, I look at Reyna. She looks at me. Malik sees it too. "Who else was in this car?" I ask. The seated man stares at the floor. "No one." That is false. There is a woman's shoe near the front corner. Black, expensive. One heel snapped. Reyna speaks into her radio. "Lobby, hold all high-rise passenger calls above 40. Quietly, no announcement yet." The Voss guard lunges at the door. Not a stumble, not a reach for help. He goes from standing to forcing his body through the gap with both hands out. Malik jerks back. Rena catches his jacket and pulls him clear. The guard slams into the partly open doors and wedges one shoulder through. His teeth snap shut near the air. He is still wearing a wireless earpiece. He is still wearing his badge. He growls out words that sound almost organized. Open it, open it, open it. The seated man starts crying without making a full sound. I jam my boot against the conference chair and shove it deeper into the cab. Malik pulls the outer door. Rina uses her baton, not to strike the guard hard, just to force his arm back through the gap. The man does not react right. Pain should change a person's face. His face stays fixed and angry. The inner gate bangs. His fingers scrape the metal. The outer doors close. Malik turns the key with both hands. For a second, nobody talks. The bakery delivery guy has dropped one of the insulated boxes. Pastries are on the concrete. He is staring at the freight door. Go to the lobby, Rena tells him. He does not move. Now, she says. He goes. Malik looks at me. What was that? I do not answer, because the honest answer is useless. A sick guard tried to force his way out of an elevator. A man in the cab was bleeding and lying. Someone upstairs covered the camera. That is what I know. My radio clicks again. Henry Lyle's voice comes through, thin and irritated. Daniel, report to my office immediately. I look at Rena. She hears it too. I press the button. Busy, not a request. We have a serious tenant complaint. Rena takes my radio from my hand. Henry, this is Rena. We have an active medical and security issue at the loading dock. I need authority to call emergency services. No, Henry says at once. Do not escalate. Voss Meridian has private medical response en route. We are to maintain discretion. A sound hits the inside of the freight door once, then again. Rina raises the radio closer. Henry, a tenant security officer attacked building staff. Henry attacked how? She looks at the closed door. With his mouth. Silence. Then Henry says nobody repeats that phrasing over the radio. I am coming down. That is the first hour. We still think the problem can fit inside a freight elevator, a secured floor, a tenant complaint, and a few locked doors. We are wrong, but we are not stupid yet. We are still doing what people do inside systems. We call supervisors. We document. We argue about authority. At 8:11 a.m., Henry comes through the service corridor with two men from Voss Security behind him. Henry is small, neat, and sweating already. Not sick sweating, fear sweating. He wears a suit that never touches dirty places unless a rich person has caused the dirt. The Voss men wear black jackets and earpieces. One is named Grant. I know him from after-hours events. He never says hello to cleaners. The other one is new, broader, with a red mark on his cheek and a napkin wrapped around his wrist. Rina sees the wrist. You are injured. The new guard pulls his hand back. Cut. From what? Glass. Show me. Grant steps between them. We are not submitting to building security. I almost laughed. It comes out wrong, a small hard sound. You held my freight car, taped my camera, sent a bleeding man downstairs, and one of your guards tried to bite me. Grant looks at Henry. Henry looks away. Rena says, I am calling emergency services. Grant raises one hand. No, you are not. This is a private medical situation. Mr. Voss has contacted a concierge medical team. Their ambulance is 7 minutes out. We have instructions to bring 2 individuals down through the dock. 2, I ask. How many are injured? Grant does not answer. A thump hits the freight door from inside. The new guard flinches. Grant does not. Henry moves closer to me and lowers his voice. Daniel, we need freight 3 operational and discreet. No lobby traffic, no tenant disturbance. I stare at him. There are people in that car. Then open it and release them to Voss Security. The man near the panel is not safe. Grant says he had a panic reaction. Rena points at the wrist napkin. Show me the cut. The new guard backs up 1 step. His face is red. His eyes hold on Rena's neck for a second too long. He catches himself and looks at the wall. That is worse than if he had snarled. He is still trying to behave. Something inside him is not, I say. Nobody opens Freight 3 until city paramedics and police are here. Henry snaps. You do not make that call. No, you made it. You delayed it. Now I am refusing to help you keep delaying it. Grant's phone vibrates. He answers, listens, then turns away. Yes, sir, we are at dock level. Building staff are being difficult. The broad guard with the wrapped wrist wipes his mouth with his sleeve. It leaves a wet streak. He whispers, water. Nobody moves. He says it louder. I need water. Rena's guard, a kid named Paul, reaches toward the case of bottled water near the dock office. Raina says, "No." Paul freezes. The broad guard looks at Raina. "Give me water." Grant turns back. "Leo, shut up." Leo's eyes move to Grant. For 1 second, there is recognition. Then Leo goes at him. It is ugly but quick. Leo grabs Grant by the collar and drives him into the wall beside the freight call buttons. Grant shouts once. Raina and Paul pull Leo back. Leo twists, gets one hand free, and clamps his teeth into Grant's forearm through the jacket. Grant screams. Henry stumbles backward into the trash bins. Malik grabs a mop handle from the janitor cart and pushes Leo's shoulder away. I catch Grant under the arm and drag him behind me. Leo comes with him because he will not release the bite. The fabric tears. Blood shows through black cloth. Raina hits Leo across the upper arm. Paul hits him in the thigh. Leo finally lets go. Not from pain, from losing balance. He drops to one knee, then pops back up too fast. Dock office. I yell. Malik and Paul pull Grant inside the dock office. I shove Henry through after him. Rena backs up with me. Leo comes forward, mouth open, eyes fixed. He still looks human enough that my brain keeps trying to find a normal explanation. Drugs, fever, breakdown, anything. I grab the pallet jack handle. Raina grabs a chair. We use both to push Leo sideways into the chain link cage where the maintenance supplies are stored. He slams into the shelves. Paint cans fall. Malik reaches through from the dock office door and hits the cage release. I swing the gate shut. It catches Leo's jacket. I shove again. The latch clicks. Leo rams the fence. It holds because the cage is built to keep tools from being stolen, not to hold a person. It might hold a minute. It might hold 10. Grant is on the dock office floor holding his arm. Blood runs between his fingers. Henry is standing near the filing cabinet, white-faced, phone in hand. Rena says, "Call 911 now." Henry does not move. I take his phone from him and throw it to Raina. She dials. Henry starts to object. I point at Leo behind the fence. "Look at him." Henry looks. Leo is chewing at the chain link. His front teeth scrape metal. He stops and stares at Grant through the fence. His face still has the shape of a man trying to remember his job. That makes it worse. Rena gives the dispatcher the address, Meridian Tower, downtown loading dock, multiple assaults, medical emergency, possible contagious condition. She says all of it clear. She does not say zombie. Nobody has that word yet, not here, not in this building. That word belongs to movies and cheap jokes, not to a man in a tenant security jacket biting through chain link while an executive on the 53rd floor is still pretending this is a privacy issue. At 8:39 a.m., the first city ambulance pulls into the dock ramp, but it cannot get all the way down because a private ambulance is already blocking the entrance. 2 private medics in Navy uniforms are arguing with our dock attendant. Their vehicle has no emergency lights on. The side says executive medical response. That phrase makes me angry in a way I do not have time to use. City paramedics come in behind them with 2 police officers. Raina meets them first. I stay near the cage with a fire extinguisher in my hands because Leo has bent one section of the fence outward. Malik stands beside the freight doors, listening to the impact from inside. The man in the elevator has started hitting the door again, but weaker now. The city paramedic, a woman with gray hair and a calm face, asks direct questions. "How many patients?" Raina says. "At least 4 here, no number on 53. The private medic says, "Our client has requested transfer without public exposure." The city paramedic turns her head. "Who is your client?" "Harlan Voss." "Is Harlan Voss injured?" No answer. She looks at Raina. "Take me to the patient." Raina points at the cage. Leo slams the fence with both hands. The city paramedic steps back once. Her calm face changes, not panic. Calculation. One police officer unclips his weapon but keeps it pointed down. "What is he on?" "Nobody knows," I say. "He was talking 10 minutes ago." Grant, from the dock office, says through clenched teeth, "I need Dr. Bell. I am not going with City." The gray-haired paramedic looks at his arm. "You are going wherever gets that bite cleaned and documented." Grant says it was not a bite. The room goes quiet except for Leo striking the fence. Ree says, "I watched it happen." Grant looks at Henry. "Say something." Henry says nothing. The private medics push toward Grant. The police officer stops them. The city paramedic starts calling for additional units and supervisor response. She uses phrases that mean something to her dispatch. Violent altered mental status, human bite exposure, Possible cluster, secure building. The second officer asks for access upstairs. Henry tries to say the tenant floors are restricted. Rena tells him to be quiet. This is the point where the building should have gone into full lockdown or full evacuation with police control. It does neither. Downtown does not bend that fast. Emergency services are already thin from morning crashes and a gas leak 3 blocks away. The first officers see a contained violent patient, an injured security guard, and a corporate floor refusing access. They push, but not hard enough yet. Voss Meridian lawyers are already calling somebody above somebody. At 9:20 a.m., the 53rd floor calls the engineering office directly. Malik answers on speaker. I am standing beside him. Rina is at the security desk reviewing stair camera feeds with the police. Henry has disappeared upstairs with Grant's phone and his own bad judgment. A woman says, "This is Claire Benton from Voss Meridian. I need maintenance." Her voice is controlled, too controlled. "This is Daniel. There is water coming through the ceiling in the executive pantry." "Claire, how many injured people are on your floor?" A pause. "I cannot discuss that." "Then I cannot send anyone. Please." 1 word lower. "Real, I tell Malik to record the call log. Are you safe? No. Are you bitten? No. Is anyone near you overheated, asking for water, staring, angry?" Silence. "Claire." "Yes," she says. "Several. How many?" "I do not know. People are in offices." Security moved Mr. Voss into the boardroom. Mr. Hahn bit Elise in the pantry. They told everyone she cut herself. She did not. She is in the wellness room. There is blood in the restroom. Dr. Bell arrived and told us not to call anyone. Then he locked himself in dining with Harlan. Malik closes his eyes. I ask, "Can you get to stairwell B?" "No, guard outside." "Stairwell A?" "I hear people in there." "Freight lobby?" "No. I am in the records room near the east copy area." I picture the floor. I've been up there enough. Glass conference rooms on the west side, executive offices along the north. Staff cubicles hidden near the core. Pantry and private dining access south, ret rooms east, records room beside copy area, 1 door, no window, close to a service chase. Is the door solid? Yes, lock it. Put a cabinet in front if you can. Do not open for tenant security unless Rena or I say your name over the phone. She exhales once. I already did. Good. Claire is not waiting to be saved. That matters. Do you have ceiling access? I am not climbing into the ceiling. Do not. I am asking for layout. Is there a return grill near the floor? What? Air vent. Low wall or ceiling? Ceiling. Leave it alone. Keep your phone charged. Doc sex this number if you cannot talk, she whispers. They are still bringing people up. What? From 52. They said the private evacuation starts on 54. Elevators for senior staff first. Daniel, there is no evacuation team. I heard Mr. Sloan say the roof helicopter is delayed because the city has not cleared airspace. We do not have a helicopter pad, do we? No, I say. We have a roof service zone and antenna racks. No safe helicopter landing. I know. Someone pounds on her door. She stops breathing for a few seconds, then steps away from the phone. 1 minute. A man outside says, Claire, open the door. We need your badge. She looks back at the phone. I hear her hand against it. That is security. Do not open it. They have keys. Barricade. Now. The line rustles. The pounding starts again harder. I turn to Malik. Pull high-rise passenger cars out of service above 40. Park 11 and 12 at lobby on fire recall. 13 to mechanical 48 if clear. 14 out of group at 29. He moves fast. We do not have Henry approval. Henry is part of the problem. The police officer near Rena hears me and comes over. You cannot trap people upstairs. I am not trapping them. The tenant is moving sick people through cars. If we keep the high-rise elevators open, the whole tower gets it. He looks at the monitor, then at the status screen. He is young. He wants policy. Policy is not ready for this. Rena backs me. Officer, we have an infected or intoxicated guard contained in the dock, unknown injured on 53, and a tenant hiding victims. Let him restrict vertical movement until your supervisor arrives. The officer does not like it, but he does not stop me. At 9:34 a.m., the first bad elevator arrives in the lobby. Passenger car 12 comes down from 51 after ignoring our park command because someone's side has a priority card. The screen shows 4 passengers. Rena sees it first on camera. She swears under her breath, mild but real. On the lobby monitor, 4 people stand inside the car. 2 men in suits, 1 woman in a cream jacket, and Henry Lyle. Henry is holding his phone to his ear. 1 suited man leans against the wall, sweating. The woman has a scarf wrapped around her hand. The other suited man keeps looking at her hand, then away. Lock lobby turnstiles open. Raina tells her desk guard, clear the reception area. The elevator doors open. For 1 second, it could still be normal. 4 corporate people having a bad morning. Then the sweating man shoves Henry out of the car and bites the woman in the cream jacket just below the scarf. She screams. The lobby finally hears what has been moving inside the walls all morning. The 2 police officers run toward the elevator. Raina pulls civilians back. I hit the fire service recall panel with my key and bring all available passenger cars to lobby. Doors open, out of normal service. It is a risk. If anything infected is inside, it opens in front of us. If we leave cars running, infection goes floor to floor. I choose the risk I can see. Henry crawls behind the reception desk. The sweating man drags the woman down by her sleeve. 1 officer uses a stun device. The probes hit. The man locks up for a second, then keeps moving. The officer fires again. No useful effect. The second officer tackles him from the side, and both hit the floor. The man turns his head and snaps at the officer's cheek. The officer gets his forearm up in time. The woman kicks free and rolls away, holding her bleeding hand. The lobby fills with people backing away, not running yet because nobody understands what direction is safe. The front doors lead to downtown streets. The elevators lead upward. The stairs lead into whatever is coming down. Every exit has a question attached to it. I grab the public address microphone at the security desk. Raina looks at me. I ask without words. She nods. Attention, I say through the lobby speakers. My voice sounds too loud and too calm. This is building operations. Do not use elevators. Do not enter stairwells unless directed by security or emergency personnel. Move away from the high-rise elevator bank. Tenants on floors 1 through 20 should remain in secure offices for the moment. Await instructions. Do not crowd the lobby. People hate unclear orders. People also hate specific orders. The trick is not to be loved. The trick is to slow movement. The officer on the floor finally pins the infected man with help from Raina and 2 lobby guards. The man keeps trying to bite the floor, the officer's sleeve, anything close. The woman in the cream jacket is crying and saying, "It was just a scrape. It was just a scrape." Henry is behind the desk, phone gone, 1 shoe missing. Car 11 opens empty. Car 13 is still above. Car 14 is parked at 29. Freight 3 bangs again from the dock level. Leo keeps hitting the cage. The tower is not 1 emergency now. It is a set of emergencies stacked on top of each other. At 10:05 a.m., City Police put Meridian Tower on restricted entry. They do not evacuate, not yet. The fire department arrives with a battalion chief who looks angry before anyone speaks to him. He takes statements, looks at the bitten woman, looks at Leo in the cage, and orders more resources. He asks for building plans. I give him paper plans from the fire command room because paper does not crash, does not need a password, and does not care who paid for the renovation. The chief points at the stairwells. Which one connects all floors? All 3. Stairwell C has roof access through mechanical penthouse. Stairwell B has a bad camera between 47 and 49. Stairwell A discharges to lobby only unless unlocked. B and C discharge to grade corridors near the dock. Can infected or violent patients move from top to bottom? Yes, he looks at me when I say infected. I did not plan to use the word. It is there now. Known cases: dock cage, elevator lobby. At least 1 in freight 3. Unknown on 53, possibly 52, possibly 54. Why possibly 54? Teenet lied about roof evacuations. Senior staff may have moved up. He looks at Henry, who is sitting on a lobby bench with a city paramedic cleaning a scrape on his forehead. Building manager? Yes. Useful? No. The chief's mouth tightens. He turns to a firefighter. Get police to secure stair discharges. No uncontrolled evac until we know where the threat is. That order comes 5 minutes too late. At 10:12 a.m., somebody on 38 pulls a fire alarm. The fire panel lights in red, 1 zone at first, then 3 more because panic spreads through hands faster than voice. Horns start. Strobes flash in every corridor. The public address system begins the recorded evacuation message for affected floors. On a normal day, high-rise evacuation is phased. The fire floor, floor above, floor below. Tenants know the drill from annual training nobody takes seriously. Today, nobody trusts the drill and the recorded voice is useless. People leave desks, grab bags, call family, and enter stairs. I silence the horns at the command panel where allowed, not everywhere. The strobes continue. The fire department takes control of the panel. We send live voice instructions, but the first wave is already moving. Stairwell. A camera on 39 shows people going down in tight lines. Some are in office clothes, some carrying laptops. One man carrying a framed award because panic makes strange choices feel important. Stairwell B camera on 48 is still bad. Stairwell C camera on 51 shows two Voss security guards pushing through a stair door with a woman between them. She is not walking right. Her head stays low. One guard has his hand over her mouth. "Stop them," Raina says into her radio. No one is close enough. The firefighters see it on the monitor. The chief points. "Lock C below 48 if you can." I can lock re-entry doors, not the stair itself, I say. Stair discharge stays free for code. I can prevent floor access. I cannot trap people inside a stair by remote. Do re-entry locks fail safe? On alarm, some unlock. Stairwell re-entry every 5th floor. Renovation change sections. I need to go to the life safety panel. Go. Malik comes with me. We move through the service corridor while the recorded alarm loops overhead. He carries the ring of mechanical keys. I carry the tablet and radio. We reach the life safety control cabinet near the engineering office. The system is designed for fire, not for sick people moving vertically while rich men lie. I can command door schedules, but alarm mode has already released several locks for egress. Good for fire, bad for us. I set secure floors to deny re-entry from stairs where code allows. I release lower floor exits to get people out if directed. I keep stairwell B re-entry open at 25 because that floor has a sky bridge to the annex, and I want one controlled lateral route if the street turns bad. I block elevator calls above 20 until the fire department decides otherwise. Malik watches the status changes. This is going to make tenants angry. It should. His phone buzzes. He reads a text and goes still. What? My sister works on 36. I know this. Her name is Amara. She started there 2 months ago at a law firm. Call her. He does. No answer. He texts. 3 dots appear, then stop. He calls again. I take the radio. Raina, check camera 36, elevator lobby. A few seconds later, she answers. People in corridor. Looks calm. Wait. Stair door just opened. Daniel, there is a man on the floor. Moving? Not much. Crowd is backing up. Malik has already turned toward the door. I grab his arm. No, my sister is there. I know. We do not run blind into 36. He jerks free, angry. You would. He is wrong, but not in a way I can prove without sounding cruel. I put the tablet in his hands. Then do it right. We take freight 1 to 34, not passenger. We use stairwell, A up 2 floors if clear. We do not enter if the hallway is compromised. We get Amara if she is reachable. If she is not, we close the floor and guide her by phone. He stares at me. Then he nods once. We tell Raina. She tells us 2 firefighters are moving towards stairwell, A below 40. That helps. Not enough, but some. At 10:26 a.m., Malik and I take freight 1 up from the dock. We ride in silence with the car keyed on service and the radio turned low. He keeps calling Amara. No answer. The car stops at 34, and we use stairwell A for the last 2 floors, because I do not want an elevator door opening straight into panic. On the 36 landing, a woman in a gray blazer is sitting with 1 shoe off and a swollen ankle. She grabs my pant leg and tells us not to enter. A man from upstairs came onto the floor, said he was thirsty, then bit a lawyer near the elevator bank. She does not know where Amara is. I unlock the stair door and look through the wire glass window. The law firm reception area is bright, clean, and wrong. Chairs are overturned. A man lies near the elevator with a bite on his forearm, still talking, still asking for help. Another man stands behind the reception desk with a heavy stapler in both hands. Farther in, a glass conference room is barricaded from the inside, while someone strikes the door from the hallway. Malik sees his sister before I do. Amara comes out of the copy room with another woman under her arm. She has blood on her blouse, but not from a bite. I check fast anyway because kindness without inspection kills people now. Malik wants to help the bitten man near the elevator. I want to help him too. Then he says he feels hot, laughs once, and starts crawling toward our shoes. We take Amara, the injured woman, the woman from the stair landing, and the man with the stapler because he is closest and clear. We leave 2 people behind glass after telling them to barricade the conference room and keep hands visible for firefighters. One woman screams that we are abandoning her. I do not answer because any answer would be too small. The infected lawyer breaks through an interior door while we shut the stair behind us. The bitten man hits the other side once with his hand. Malik looks at me with hate for half a second, then looks down because he knows I made the only decision that kept the stair from filling. We get everyone down in Freight 1. Amara keeps saying the sick man came from upstairs and had been told to shelter with them until private transport arrived. That is when the pattern becomes clear. The upper floors did not just hide the first bites. They exported them downward with badges, elevators, and lies. At 11:02 a.m. we reach the dock. Leo is no longer in the cage. For one cold second, I think he escaped. Then I see the cage door bent outward and 2 police officers standing near it. Leo is on the floor under a restraint net, still moving. One officer has a torn sleeve. The gray-haired paramedic is gone. The city ambulance is gone. Grant is gone too, taken out or taken away by his own people. I do not know which, and later I learn it matters. The battalion chief is in the command room with Reyna. Shouting into his radio, he sees Amara and the others. Where from? 36. 1 aggressive infected locked in mailroom. 1 bitten conscious near elevators. 2 trapped in conference room, unknown exposure. He writes it down, not because paperwork solves anything, because without a list, people vanish twice. The chief says, we are moving non-exposed lower floors out through the south doors. Upper floors sheltering pending sweep. That will not work if tenant security keeps moving people. They are not in charge anymore. He believes that when he says it. I want to believe it too. At 11:17 a.m., Harlan Voss appears on the lobby camera. He comes out of passenger car 13 on the 40th floor, not the lobby. That car should not be in passenger service. It is supposed to be parked at Mechanical 48. Someone used a tenant emergency key, a security override, or Henry's master credential. Voss steps into the 40th floor elevator lobby with Dr. Bell beside him, 2 private guards, and a woman I recognize from magazine photos, Lydia Sloan, the chief operating officer of the fund. Voss is in his 70s, thick white hair, expensive navy suit, left hand wrapped in a towel. Dr. Bell keeps looking at the towel. Lydia is carrying a small silver case. The camera has no audio, but the body language is clear. Voss is angry. Dr. Bell is afraid. 1 guard keeps wiping his mouth. Reyna zooms the camera. Voss looks flushed, not faint, not wounded enough to slow down. He points at the stair door. Lydia shakes her head. Dr. Bell says something. Voss slaps him with the wrapped hand. Blood dots the wall. The battalion chief sees it. Where can that car go? 13 is high-rise. Lobby, sky lobby at 30, secure floors, mechanical override to 48, roof mechanical if keyed. Stop it. I can park it, but if someone is inside with key priority, it may fight the command. Do it anyway. Malik and I go back to the elevator controller. I set car 13 to inspection from the machine room side. It resists for a few seconds, then accepts. Its position holds at 40. Then the system throws a fault, door lock open. Someone is forcing the doors. The chief sends police and firefighters up from the lower floors, but the tower is too vertical. Everything takes minutes we do not have. At noon, the building is split into sections that no longer trust each other. Lower floors are leaving through the south lobby in small groups. Middle floors are sheltering behind office doors with furniture against glass. Upper floors keep calling with different versions of the same question. Can we move? Can we get an elevator? Can someone important be taken first? Claire is still alive on 53. She texts from the records room. Door damaged, voices outside. Elise quiet in wellness room. Water leaking, battery 60%. I tell her to stay locked and text only when needed. She writes back that she waited too long before calling. I do not argue because she is right, and because she is still alive. At 1:20 p.m., the city sends an emergency alert. At 1:20 p.m., the city sends an emergency alert to phones in the area. It says there is a police and fire operation near Meridian Tower. Avoid the block. Shelter if inside nearby buildings. It does not mention infection. It does not mention bites. It does not mention that people who were talking normally an hour ago now attack anything close enough to reach. Governments do not say what they do not know. Corporations do not say what costs them. Between those two silences, people keep moving. At 2:03 p.m., the first infected from the stairwell reaches the lobby level. He comes out of stairwell C, not A. That means he has moved past at least 3 doors and 2 fire crews, or he entered from a lower floor after the initial spread. He is a man in a white dress shirt, sleeves rolled, tie gone. His face is dry now, less red, more slack. He steps into the service corridor near the dock with both hands out in front of him. A firefighter behind him shouts, "Back up." The man turns toward the shout, then toward us, choosing by sound. He moves faster when Raina's radio crackles. Paul, the young guard, freezes. I grab his vest and pull him behind a steel service cart. The infected man hits the cart and pushes it 2 feet. Malik shoves from the other side. Raina and a firefighter pin him against the wall with a long hook. The firefighter keeps saying, "Stay down, stay down." The man does not stay down because he is not hearing the order in a way that matters. A police officer uses a restraint pole from animal control. I do not know who brought it. It works for 6 seconds, then almost fails. The man's teeth close on the rubber handle, and he hangs his weight from it. The firefighter finally knocks his legs out. They restrain him with 3 people on him, and nobody getting close to his mouth. Paul vomits into the trash bin. Nobody laughs. He wipes his mouth, apologizes, and keeps standing. That is courage in a building, not speeches, not hero moves. A kid throwing up and staying at his post because the corridor still needs a body there. At 2:40 p.m., Henry tries to leave. He has found a side corridor from the management office to the garage vestibule. He is carrying his laptop bag and the emergency binder that should be in the command room. Raina catches him on camera. She sends me because she cannot leave the desk. I intercept him near the card reader by the garage elevator. He looks offended to see me. Even now, with alarms, blood on his sleeve, and police in his lobby, he manages to look offended. "Move," he says. "Give me the binder. This is privileged building documentation. It is the fire department's documentation during an emergency. You have no idea what you have done today." I almost tell him what he did. He approved elevator restrictions. He blocked emergency calls. He let tenant security override building safety. He helped hide bites because rich people asked him to. But arguing with Henry is just another elevator going nowhere. "Binder," I say. He grips the strap, then something hits the garage vestibule door from the other side. Henry flinches and drops the bag. The door has a small rectangular window. A woman presses against the glass. Her hair is stuck to her face. She is alive. Not infected, I think at first. Then she smiles with blood on her teeth and smacks her palm against the window. Henry whispers, "She was with the private ambulance." I take one slow step back and use my radio. "Raina, garage vestibule compromised. Lock out garage elevators. Do not route evac through P1. The woman behind the glass drags her hand down, leaving a streak. Behind her, another shape moves between parked cars. Henry starts crying. It is small and private. I take the binder. "Come on," I say. He follows me back, because cowardice can still choose the correct direction when every other direction has teeth. At 3:30 p.m., the battalion chief orders a partial building evacuation through the south lobby, and a hold on all upper floor rescues until police tactical units clear the stairwells. This is the right decision on paper. In practice, people above 30 hear the word hold and decide nobody is coming. Phones spread rumors faster than radios. A text from 41 says the National Guard is outside. A text from 33 says the infection came from the water system. False, at least for now. A message on a tenant group chat says the bites are not dangerous if cleaned fast. Dangerous because people want it to be true. I get a call from a tenant on 27. Our office manager says we should go down stairwell B now. No. Stay inside. She says the fire department told all floors to evacuate. No. Who is your office manager? Paula. Put Paula on. A new voice, angry. We have elderly staff here. Any bitten? No. Any sick? No. Then stay in your suite, put furniture near the door, and wait for escort. Stairwell B is not confirmed clear. We cannot just sit here. Yes, you can. Sitting is the safest thing you have done today. She hangs up on me. 10 minutes later, stairwell B camera on 26 shows a group entering with bags, coats, one rolling suitcase. They go down. The camera on 22 shows the same group running back up. 2 people missing. 1 woman with blood on her hand. Paula is not visible. I do not know if she died. I only know she chose motion because motion felt more responsible than waiting. At 4:12 p.m., Claire calls instead of texting. "I move," she whispers. No, the door is coming apart. I hear it behind her, wood cracking. Not steady pounding now, prying. Some son still has enough mind or tool use to work the door. Or an uninfected guard is trying to get her badge. Both are bad. Can you reach the ceiling? You said not to. I know. New situation. Do you see the access panel above the copy shelves? I see it. Do not enter the open ceiling. Listen. There is a service chase behind the records room wall. It is not a hallway. It is a vertical shaft for cabling. There should be a locked metal panel low on the east wall. I see a gray panel. Can you open it? No key. Do you have anything flat? Letter opener, screwdriver? She is silent for a second. I have scissors. I stop. Giving tool instructions over a phone to a panicked person near infected people is stupid if it becomes detailed. I keep it simple. If you can open it without hurting yourself, open it. If not, shove the copy cabinet harder against the door and stay low. Fire crew is not close. That is not an answer. I know. The door behind her cracks again. She says something I do not catch then. I am going to try. The phone scrapes fabric. I hear pounding, her shoes on carpet, something metal dropped. Then a male voice in the room or near it says, "Claire, open the door. Mr. Sloan needs your badge." "You are not in trouble," she says, away from the phone. "Who is bitten? Open the door." "Who is bitten, Aaron?" No answer. She comes back to the phone. He is not alone. "Do not open." The line goes dead. I stand in the engineering office with the phone still at my ear. Malik watches me. He does not ask because he knows. At 5 p.m., the tower outside our walls looks almost normal from certain angles. Through the lobby glass, I can see police vehicles, fire trucks, barricades, news vans pushed back at the corner, pedestrians filming with phones. The city has not ended. Buses still move on the far avenue. Office workers in other buildings stand at windows. The sky is clear. Sun hits the glass towers and makes every upper floor too bright to read from the ground. Inside, Meridian Tower has become a machine that hurts people when used the normal way. Elevators spread infection when people override them. Stairwells spread infection when alarms push crowds into them. Access cards spread infection when executives steal them. Private security spreads infection when loyalty beats honesty. The building does not hate us. It just keeps doing what it was built to do. Move important people fast, hide service work, divide access, preserve appearances. At 5:38 p.m., tactical police enter from the south lobby and ask me for the floor list. I give it to them from paper plans and camera notes. 53 records room if Claire is alive. 36 conference room with possible survivors. 40 compromised by Voss and Dr. Bell. Stairwell C uncertain. Garage vestibule compromised. Roof not suitable for rescue. They ask if I can move them by elevator. I tell them yes, but only under manual control. Only to floors we choose, and never with normal passenger service restored. I stand inside car 11 with the service key while 2 officers face the doors and one keeps watching the ceiling. Because fear needs a direction, even when the ceiling is not the main problem. We stop at 36 first. The law firm is worse now. The conference glass is broken. One survivor is hiding under a desk in a partner office, cut by glass but not bitten. We take her. We do not clear every room. That feels wrong, and it is still what the team has to do. At 6:20 p.m., we reach 40. At 6:20 p.m., we reach 40. Car 13 is still faulted there with the doors partly open. The elevator lobby is empty except for Dr. Bell. He sits against the wall with his knees drawn up, a medical bag open beside him. His left hand is wrapped. His right hand holds a phone with a cracked screen. He sees us and raises both hands. "Do not shoot me," he says. Nobody has raised a weapon at him yet, but he is afraid of what he deserves. The tactical lead asks, "Are you bitten?" Dr. Bell laughs once. It has no humor. "Yes." One officer steps back. The medic swears under his breath. Dr. Bell says, "I cleaned it. It did not matter. It is saliva. Blood too, I think. But saliva definitely. Time varies. Fever first, thirst, anger, then fixation. Do not let Harlan reach the roof." "Where is he?" I ask. Bell looks at me. "Who are you, maintenance?" That gets another laugh, smaller. "Then you might be the only useful person left." He went to 54 with Sloan. He thinks Mercer Air is sending a helicopter. There is no helicopter. Lydia lied to keep him moving. He bit her before they left. The tactical lead crouches at a distance. How long ago were you bitten? Maybe 90 minutes. I can still think it comes in waves. Bell looks at his own hands with disgust. I helped them hide it. I sedated Elise after Mr. Hahn bit her. Harlan did not want city responders because the press would see him. We moved Hahn to dining. He bit the guard. The guard bit Grant. Grant left in the private ambulance. That hits the room. Where did the private ambulance go? The lead asks. Bell shakes his head. I do not know. Dr. Walsh took him executive entrance. Maybe West Clinic, maybe Harlan's residence. We told building management it was under control. He looks at me. He knows building management means Henry. He also knows maintenance saw through it before the people with degrees and money did. Bell's face tightens. He presses his wrapped hand between his knees. Lock me in something. The tactical lead asks, can you walk? Yes, we can escort you to medical isolation. Bell shakes his head. No, I can feel it when your radio crackles. I want to turn my head toward it. That is new. That is not panic. Lock me in that office. Use a real lock. The medic says, we do not abandon patients. Bell looks at him. You will if the patient is trying to bite you in 5 minutes. The lead makes the decision. We put Bell in a small records office with a glass panel beside the door. He gives us his phone, his medical notes, and the name of every person he remembers being bitten. Before the door shuts, he says, tell Elise I am sorry. Nobody answers. Elise is probably not in a condition to hear it. Sorry is late. Late sorry still has weight, but it does not change a route, a door, a wound, or a death. At 7:10 p.m. we try 53. The elevator will not take us there because the secure floor interlock is damaged. We stop at 52 and use the stair. The stairwell smells wrong before we reach the landing. Not decay, fresh sweat, cleaning chemicals, and too many people in a closed concrete shaft. There are marks on the walls, a broken earpiece, a woman's scarf, a phone still buzzing on the step with Mom on the screen. We reach the 53 door. It is locked from the floor side with an added tenant deadbolt, not building hardware. Someone installed it against code after a jewelry display event and never removed it. I told Henry twice. He told me the tenant valued privacy. The tactical lead looks at me. Can you open it? Not from here without tools and time. The door shutters. Something hits from the other side. Then a voice, female, very weak. Daniel? I step closer. Claire? Yes, she is alive. I feel it in my hands more than my head. Where are you? Service chase. Behind records. I got the panel open. I am stuck but safe. There is someone in records room now. The lead signals for quiet. Can she exit anywhere? I think of the plans. The service chase runs vertically for low voltage cable and has access panels on 52, 53, 54, and mechanical 55. But it is not meant for people. It may have cable trays, sharp edges, drop hazards. It is a terrible route. It is still a route. Claire, I say, can you move down? No, there is a cable tray. I can move up maybe. Not far. Can you reach 54 panel? I do not know. The tactical lead says roof route. I shake my head. 54 is worse if Voss went up. Claire whispers. I hear them above me. Of course, the rich went up. The assistant went into the wall. The building is honest in cruel ways. The lead makes another decision. We breach this door later with tools. We cannot do it quiet. If we open it now, whatever is on that floor enters the stair. Claire hears enough. Do not open it. I close my eyes. We are not leaving you. You are right outside with guns and you still cannot open the door. I understand. That is the worst part. She does, I say. Keep your phone on. Stay in the chase. Do not climb unless something enters. We are going to mechanical 55 and see if we can access from above. Okay. It is not okay. It is a word people use to help the other person continue. At 7:45 p.m., we reach mechanical 55 by stairwell C. The mechanical floor is loud with fans, pumps, and transformers. It smells of warm dust and oil. The roof hatch alarm has been defeated with folded cardboard. Tenant security did that. Another shortcut. Another violation that waited for the worst day to matter. We check the roof. Harlan Voss is there with Lydia Sloan, 2 private guards, and Henry. There is no helicopter. There was never a safe helicopter plan. The roof has antenna racks, loose gravel, mechanical screens, and downtown wind. Voss keeps asking where the aircraft is. Lydia, bitten and sitting against an equipment curb, tells him she lied because he refused to move without one. The tactical lead orders everyone down. One guard lunges and is pinned. The other tries to run for the hatch. Voss goes for Lydia, and 2 officers tackle him before he reaches her. He is still offering money and threats while trying to bite through a glove. Henry slips away toward a lower maintenance ladder while everyone is busy. I see him too late. Malik calls over the radio. Car 11 has been summoned by an unknown override and is dropping toward the lobby. I tell him to stop it. He cuts the drive through the controller sequence, and the car freezes between floors with banging inside. Maybe infected, maybe survivors, maybe both. There is no clean choice left in the building. At 8:30 p.m., we bring Lydia down at 8:30 p.m. We bring Lydia down to mechanical isolation. Voss is restrained separately. He keeps talking, offering money, threatening lawsuits, demanding water. He sounds rational for 10 seconds at a time, then slams his head toward anyone close enough. Lydia fades faster. She asks for her son, then for her assistant, then for water, then tells us not to give it to her. She knows enough to fear her own mouth. Claire is still in the service chase. We find the access panel on Mechanical 55, but it opens to a section blocked by cable trays and a vertical drop. I can hear her below when I put my head near the opening. "You are close," she says. "Yes, can I climb?" I look into the chase. It is too narrow, too cluttered, and too dangerous. A wrong move sends her down. But if she stays, the record's room door may fail. If she climbs, she may cut herself or fall. Agan, no clean choice. I tell her the truth. It is dangerous. She laughs once. "Daniel, the whole floor is biting people. Move slow. 3 points of contact. Keep your phone in your pocket. If you feel a cable tray flex, stop. If you smell smoke, stop. If you hear someone in the chase above, go down if you can." No one teaches this in assistant training. No one teaches it in maintenance training either. She climbs. It takes 20 minutes. She curses twice, mild words, more breath than voice. She cuts her forearm on a bracket but keeps moving when her hand finally reaches the mechanical floor panel. I grab her wrist and pull her through with help from an officer. She lands on the concrete and lies flat, eyes open, face dirty, blouse torn at one shoulder, one shoe missing. She is not bitten. We check. She lets us. She starts shaking only after we tell her she is clear. Claire looks at me. Elise is still in the wellness room. I do not say what both of us know. Elise has been there since morning, bitten early, hid by people who wanted quiet. The chance that Elise is still a person who can be escorted out is very small. Claire says, "I heard her after 4. She was saying her daughter's name." The tactical lead looks away. He has a list. Lists are cruel because every line wants a body attached to it. At 9:15 p.m., the city changes the response category. We hear the words over police radio, and then from the emergency management liaison in the lobby, "Suspected infectious violent outbreak, human bite transmission possible, exposed persons to be isolated, no uncontrolled release from building." That means the people who got out earlier may already be tracked or may not. It means Grant in the private ambulance is a serious problem. It means every executive who thought money could move faster than public health has carried the problem into places we cannot see. The lower floors are mostly empty now. Not safe. The difference matters. A building without people still has sound. Alarms, ventilation, elevators faulted in shafts, phones ringing on desks, printers finishing jobs sent hours ago, water running in a pantry sink somewhere above us, because the first work order was not really about water, but the water did not care. At 10 p.m., the fire department pulls most crews below 20. Police hold the lobby and dock. Tactical teams are stretched. A second outbreak report comes from a private clinic west of downtown, then a residence tower near the river, then a parking garage connected to our block. Nobody says Grant's name over open radio, but I think it. Raina sits at the security desk with her jacket off and a bandage on her elbow from where she hit the cage. Paul is asleep in a chair for 10 minutes until a phone rings and he stands up too fast. Malik sits with Amara in the break room. Claire drinks water in tiny sips because watching infected beg for water has made everybody suspicious of thirst, even normal thirst. Henry is missing. Harlan Voss is locked in a mechanical storage room under guard, still alive, still demanding lawyers. Dr. Bell stopped answering through the office door on 40 around 8. Nobody has gone back to check. At 10:46 p.m., the lobby glass breaks, not from infected, from people outside. A crowd has gathered beyond the police line. Some are family members of people still inside. Some are filming. Some are angry because rumors say the building is full of executives being rescued first. That rumor is partly false and partly true enough to burn. A bottle hits the glass, then another. Police push the crowd back. The lobby team moves away from the front entrance. The battalion chief decides to relocate command from the lobby to the dock office and then possibly out through the service tunnel to the annex. I know that tunnel. It runs from our loading dock under the alley to the shared waste and delivery corridor for the old hotel next door. It is not public. It has card access, bad lighting, and one section where the ceiling leaks when it rains. It exits near the hotel's lower service court, and from there to a narrow street behind the block. Earlier, that route was not needed. Now it is the only route that does not involve the lobby crowd, the compromised garage, or the upper stairwells. At 11:30 p.m., Reina asks me quietly, "Can we move civilians through it?" Small group, not a crowd. Too narrow. If the far end is blocked, we get trapped. "Can you check cameras?" The tunnel camera has been dead since last month. She stares at me. "I put in the work order," I say. "I know." Of course she knows. Dead cameras are never secrets to security. They are future regrets waiting for a bad day. The chief sends 2 officers to check the tunnel with me. I take a flashlight, service keys, and a pry bar. Not for fighting if I can avoid it. For doors, panels, and things stuck by neglect. The dock is quieter now because most vehicles have moved out. Freight 3 still sits locked. We never opened it again. The impacts from inside stopped in the afternoon. I do not know what that means. I do not ask. We reach the tunnel door. The card reader blinks red then green. Good. The door opens into stale air, concrete walls. Pipes overhead, yellow safety stripe along the floor. The lights are on for the first 60 feet, then flicker near the bend. We move slowly. The first officer watches ahead. The second watches behind. I watch the floor. A tunnel tells you who used it. Dust, wheel marks, dropped glove, water tracks. Halfway through, I see fresh footprints in the damp patch office shoes. 1 person, maybe 2, moving toward the hotel. "Henry," I whisper this to the officers. We continue. Near the far end, the hotel side door is propped open with a fire extinguisher. Beyond it, the shared service corridor is lit. I hear a loading cart squeak. A hotel worker appears, sees us, and almost drops a stack of towels. "What is happening in your building?" she asks. The first officer lowers his weapon. "Police, is this corridor secure?" "No. We had a man come through, suit bleeding. He said there was a chemical release and he needed a phone. Then he bit Marco." The officer looks at me. Henry made it out, and he carried the tower with him. "Where is Marco?" She points down the corridor. "Laundry room. We locked it. And the man in the suit ran upstairs." The officer calls it in. The hotel becomes another site. Another set of floors, guests, elevators, stairwells, and people who will not understand fast enough. The city response shifts again, spreading thinner. We do not have a clean exit anymore. We have a contaminated adjacent building and a service corridor that may still move a small group away from the tower if we do it before the hotel locks everything down. At midnight, I have been awake in the emergency for nearly 17 hours. Time does not feel dramatic. It feels administrative lists d'heures. Calls to Zata lights, names, injuries, flow numbers, battery percentages, which stair has pressure, which elevator is faulted, which person is lying, which person is too scared to move, which person will die because 10 minutes ago someone with a title chose privacy. Malik brings me coffee from the break room microwave. It is old and bitter. I drink it anyway. He says Amara wants to help. No. She is sitting there losing her mind. She can help Claire inventory water and phone chargers. He nods. That is not nothing. Survivors need jobs that do not put them in a bite path. At 12:35 a.m., we lose normal power to part of the tower, not total blackout. A feeder trip, probably from water intrusion or damage upstairs. Emergency power catches life safety systems, select lights, fire command, some elevators if we enable them. Office lights go out across chunks of the building. The city outside remains lit. Inside, dark floors multiply. The generator starts clean. Fuel level says 72%. That sounds comforting until you know the generator was sized for emergency loads, not a full building at war with itself. We shed non-essential loads. Air handling drops in several zones. Stair pressure remains. Fire pumps remain. Communications remain, mostly. Elevators remain limited. At 1:10 a.m., the infected begin following sound more consistently. We notice it through cameras. A phone rings on 42, and two infected in the corridor turn toward the office door. A radio crackle in stairwell C brings movement from a landing above. Voss in the storage room slams the door whenever guards talk. He ignores quiet footsteps but reacts to voices. This does not mean they are smart. It means something basic has narrowed down. Movement, heat maybe. We are learning from bad footage and locked doors. Reyna changes radio discipline. Short transmissions, lower volume. No open chatter near stair doors, phones on vibrate. The public address system stays off except for controlled announcements to lower floors. Every noise becomes a cost. At 1:48 a.m., we have to move the remaining unexposed civilians from the dock office area to the tunnel route. The lobby is no longer reliable because of crowd pressure outside and possible infected in the garage. Upper rescues are suspended until morning or until more teams arrive. That hurts to write even in my head. Suspended means people above us are still calling, texting, hiding, turning, or waiting for doors that do not open. Our group is small because small is all the tunnel can take. Reyna, Paul, Malik, Amara, Claire, the gray blazer woman from 36, whose name is Susan, the law firm survivor named Talia, two firefighters escorting, one police officer, and me. The battalion chief stays with command. He tells me to get them through and come back if possible. I do not promise. He does not ask me to. We prepare without ceremony: water bottles, flashlights, first aid kits, spare radio batteries, building master keys, paper plans folded into my jacket, no guns for civilians, no fantasy gear. Reyna has her baton and radio. Paul has a flashlight and too much fear. Malik carries tools because he knows how to use them. Claire carries the silver case Lydia had on the roof, not because it has money, but because it has printed executive contact lists and private medical numbers. Evidence maybe. Leverage maybe. A record of who moved whom. At 2:06 a.m., we open the tunnel door. Before we enter, the Freight 3 elevator alarm rings. Everyone stops. It rings from the dock wall phone. A clean little bell. Not a bang. Not a scream. The elevator emergency phone is calling out because someone pressed the button inside, or because the system triggered after too many faults. Freight 3 has been closed since morning with at least 2 people inside, one infected, one bleeding. It has been silent for hours. The bell rings again. Paul whispers, "Could someone still be alive?" Nobody answers fast enough. The bell rings a third time. Reyna looks at me. She is not asking me to open it. She is asking me to say the hard thing out loud. We do not open Freight 3. I say. Susan starts crying. Quickly. She did not know anyone in that car. It does not matter. A closed door with a ringing phone is enough to break something in a person. We enter the tunnel. The first section is clear. The lights buzz overhead. Our shoes sound too loud, so we slow down. The group wants to bunch together. I keep spacing with hand signals, not because I am a soldier, because tight groups fall together. At the bend, the damp patch reflects flashlight beams. The fresh footprints are smeared now. More people use the tunnel since we checked. Hotel staff, police, maybe Henry, maybe someone else. The far door is still propped open. Bad. An open door means easy passage both directions. The police officer goes first. He signals stop almost immediately. A man in a hotel uniform stands beyond the door with his back to us. He is facing the laundry corridor wall. His shoulders move slightly. The officer whispers, "Sir." The man turns. His mouth and chin are wet. He is not fully gone. He says, "Help," then steps toward us. The officer tells him to stop. He does not. The officer backs up through the doorway. I pull the extinguisher wedge free with my foot and let the heavy door swing. The infected hotel worker hits it from the other side. The door latches, metal holds for now. Amara covers her mouth with both hands. Malik puts one arm in front of her, not around her, just a barrier. Claire looks at the hotel side door and says, "So that way is gone." "Not gone," I say. "Delayed." There is another service exit before the hotel corridor, a narrow maintenance branch to the old mail sorting room under the annex. It has not been used in years except by contractors. I know it because I once chased a water leak through it for 6 hours and ruined a pair of boots. We backtrack 20 feet and open a gray door half hidden by pipes. The hinges resist. Malik helps. The door opens to darkness and dust. "This goes where?" Reyna asks. "Annex basement maybe." "Maybe." The annex remodel blocked some routes. I have not used it since. She nods because maybe is still better than teeth behind a known door. We enter. The corridor is lower, older, with brick on one side and concrete patchwork on the other. Pipes run at shoulder height. Everyone ducks. The air smells dry at first, then wet. My flashlight catches old mail carts, broken shelving, plastic sheeting from construction, and a sign that says authorized personnel only in faded red letters. Behind us, something hits the hotel side tunnel door once then again. Move, I whisper. We move. The annex corridor ends at a rolling fire door. It is down, not locked electronically. Manually chained, of course. Buildings collect unauthorized chains the way offices collect coffee mugs. Malik kneels and checks it. He looks at me and shakes his head. Cutting would make noise and take time. The chain is thick. The lock is newer than the door. Talia says, "We are trapped." No, I say, because panic spreads if given a clean sentence. There is a personnel door beside the rolling door. It has no handle on our side, just a recessed key cylinder. I try the ring. First key fails. Second, third. The tunnel behind us carries another impact. The hotel worker or someone else has reached the main door hard enough to echo. Fourth key works. The personnel door opens 2 inches and stops against boxes stacked on the other side. "You have got to be kidding me," Paul whispers. Malik and I push. The boxes slide an inch. Something falls on the far side. We push again. Raina adds her shoulder. The gap widens enough for one person to squeeze through sideways. I go first because I know what I am looking for, and because if something is in there, I would rather it catch me than Claire or Amara. That sounds noble. It is not. It is practical and ugly. I am the one with keys. If I fall outside the door and block the route, at least the keys are near the opening. That is the level of thought left. The room beyond is a storage room filled with event furniture. Folding tables, old podiums, cases of extension cords, branded banners from conferences that happened before anyone in this room thought about biting. No infected, no people. The door was blocked by stacked cardboard displays. I shove enough aside for the others. One by one, the group squeezes through. Susan gets stuck for a second on her blazer. Paul helps her and apologizes 3 times, though he did nothing wrong. Claire passes the silver case through before climbing after it. Amara slips on dust and catches herself on a table. Nobody shouts. Good. We close the personnel door behind us and stack what we can without blocking our own exit. Not a perfect barricade. There are no perfect barricades. Only delays. The annex basement has emergency lights and a smell of old carpet. We find a stair to the service court. The first floor door has a small window. Beyond it, I can see the alley behind the annex, lit by one orange wall light. No crowd, no visible infected. A police vehicle at the far end, empty or parked. A dumpster, rainwater in potholes. The normal ugliness of a city service alley has never looked so valuable. Rena calls command on low volume. Static. Then the battalion chief answers. She tells him we are at annex service exit with unexposed civilians. He tells us the hotel is now locked down. Police are trying to contain the adjacent building. He also tells us not to return through the tunnel. I knew that was coming. Hearing it still lands hard. "What about you?" Raina asks. "We have routes." He says he might not. The radio does not carry truth, only words. At 3:12 a.m., we exit into the alley. Cool air hits us. Real outside air, not filtered, not conditioned. Not moving through ducts that connect safe rooms to unsafe rooms. Nobody cheers. People in survival situations do not cheer as much as stories pretend. Susan sits on the curb and puts her head between her knees. Talia stares at the tower above us. Malik hugs Amara only after checking her sleeves again, and she lets him. Paul leans against the wall, eyes closed, still standing. Claire keeps the silver case in both hands. Meridian Tower rises over the alley with lights missing in sections. Some floors glow, some are dark. Red strobes still pulse behind glass. On 53, I think I see movement near the east side, but it may be a reflection from emergency vehicles below. I cannot tell. That is how the building keeps its secrets at the end. Glass, height, distance, and not enough time. A police officer at the alley mouth sees us and orders hands visible. We show hands. He sends us toward a triage tent 2 blocks south. Exposed one way, unexposed another, unknown a third. We are checked for bites under harsh lights by exhausted medical staff. Shows off, sleeves up, collars checked, scalp checked if hair hides anything. Nobody complains after what we have seen. Claire's cut from the service chase is cleaned and marked. Not a bite. Still a risk because everything is a risk now. She gives the silver case to a police detective and makes him sign a receipt on a napkin when his form clipboard is missing. That is the first time I laugh, one short laugh. Claire looks at me and almost smiles. At 4 a.m., emergency management interviews us under a canopy, while helicopters circle too high to help anyone on a roof. The promised rooftop rescue never came because it was never real. Harlan Voss had bought private doctors, private guards, private elevators, private silence, and private lies. He could not buy physics. He could not buy a landing zone. He could not buy back the hours his people wasted. A woman from public health asks me to explain the elevator restrictions. I do. She asks how many people moved from upper floors before lockdown. I say I do not know. She asks for names. I give her the names I have. Grant, Leo, Dr. Bell, Lydia Sloan, Harlan Voss, Claire Benton, Henry Lyle, Elise from the wellness room, Jeremy from 36, Paula from 27, the private clinic, the hotel worker Marco, the private ambulance company. The list is incomplete. Every list is incomplete. She writes anyway. At 5:30 a.m., the sky begins to change over downtown. The streets are not normal, but they are not empty. Police lines shift. Ambulances idle. Firefighters move in and out of the tower entrance in teams. News crews talk from behind barricades. Phones keep ringing in bags beside people who cannot answer yet. Somewhere behind us, a hotel alarm starts and stops. Malik asks me what happens next. I look at Meridian Tower. I know the answer only in pieces. The tower will be sealed. Some people will be rescued. Some will not. The infection has already left through the private ambulance, through Henry, maybe through a stairwell group, maybe through someone who looked clean under bad light and wanted to go home. The city will make zones. Officials will choose careful words. Companies will deny what can be denied until denial becomes useless. Families will search lists. Maintenance crews will be asked for maps before anyone asks if they slept. I do not know, I say. He nods. It is the only honest answer left. At 6:41 a.m., nearly 24 hours after my shift started, I sit on the curb outside the triage tent with a paper blanket around my shoulders and my service keys still on my belt. Nobody has taken them. That seems wrong. The keys feel heavier than tools now. They opened doors, they kept doors shut. They saved some people and left others behind because every route in that tower turned into a decision with a person attached. Claire sits beside me. She has one shoe from the tower and one paper slipper from triage. Her hair is full of dust. She looks at the building, then at me. I told Elise I would come back, she says. I do not give her a clean answer. Clean answers were part of how this started. Clean words over dirty facts. Medical privacy, executive transport. Controlled situation, no need for alarm. People died inside those phrases. You called, say you opened the truth. She wipes her face with the paper blanket. Too late. Yes, I say, because she deserves truth. But not never. We sit there while the sun reaches the upper glass of Meridian Tower. For a few seconds, the top floors shine enough that the broken sections are hard to see. Then the angle changes, and the dark floors show again. A public health worker calls my name. More questions, more maps, more floor numbers. I stand up because I can still help with that. I can still tell them where the freight elevators go, where the stairwell cameras fail, where the service tunnel bends, where the roof hatch lies, where the executive locks were added without approval, and where a person could hide in the walls if she had no better choice. Before I follow her, I look once more at the tower. The first bite did not bring it down. The first lie did, and the lie had a key card.